displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the park's professor. First hole. The par and distance are at the top of the screen. This is one of the hardest holes on this course. It's one of the longer holes, and there's this tight gap between these two trees that you need to hit. That said, if you can get through that gap, it's pretty much clear sailing the rest of the way to the basket. There's also this walking path that serves the picnic shelter, and I did see a family on that walking path when I played here, so you have to mind walkers on this hole. There's the first basket, and there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. The second hole plays gradually uphill. There's a single tree that sits right in front of the basket. I used a right-to-left disc flight to get around that tree, and that seemed to work. There is dense woods just beyond the basket, so you really don't want to miss long on this hole. I want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the park's professor. We are at Harrison Lake State Park. We are in Northwest Ohio, and in fact, this is the northwesternmost state park in Ohio. The third hole plays gradually downhill, and it plays through a veritable fence of trees. We're going to walk the most direct line through that fence, and that's probably the best line to play, although it's not your only option. Those trees also create a very low ceiling, and the low ceiling is an issue because of the downhill. As we saw in the first hole, there is this walking path here on the third hole, and so you do have to watch for walkers on this hole. There's the third basket, and there's the view back to the tee. The fourth hole is another hole with a very low ceiling. It also has some dense woods just to the right. The basket is close enough to those woods that you're going to have to challenge the woods if you want to take direct aim at the basket. I captured this video on Thursday, October the 9th, and it was a beautiful evening with temperatures in the upper 50s when I came here. There's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. We enter a more open area with the fifth hole. The fifth hole is very short, it's very flat, and except for one large tree guarding the front right corner of the basket, it's really boring. I want to take this opportunity to say a few words about the tees. There are no constructed tee pads on this course. The tees are just a dirt and grass area, and each tee is marked with a single brick that's embedded in the ground. Those bricks are essentially impossible to see unless you're within about 10 feet of the tee, and therefore this course is very hard to navigate, even though the course flow is pretty good. The course route basically forms a single loop around this area. But you're going to need a map from UDisc or from some other source to help you find the tees. Honestly, the tees are probably the worst feature of this course. The sixth hole is another fairly boring hole, except that the basket is located among these three trees. Those trees form a very symmetrical triangle, so there's no real strategy. You just have to hope you don't end up behind a tree for your putt. The seventh hole is the shortest hole on this course, and it's a dogleg right with dense woods on the inside of the dogleg. There are a couple of large trees out to the left, so you'll need to challenge those woods if you want to set up a birdie. There's also a picnic table right by the basket, so you have to check for other park users before you throw. The eighth hole heads back to the west and therefore starts the closing stretch of this course. There are a couple of large trees you have to negotiate. It's probably best to go under the first tree and then to the left of these other trees. I want to thank you for watching. Parking Full Time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I thank you every day. Also, if you like this sort of thing, please click the thumbs up button. And if you really like this sort of thing, please click the subscribe button. That encourages me to bring more of this sort of thing your way, and also helps other people to find this video. There's the view from behind the basket back to the tee. The ninth hole is the last hole on this course. It's really open, really flat, and honestly really boring. Overall, this is an okay course. The tees are definitely a problem, and this course is on the short and simple side, and therefore it's not going to appeal to every player. It's a nice place to come and throw your disc around if you come to this park to hike or picnic, or camp, or swim, but it's probably not a course that you want to go out of your way to play. There's the view from behind the basket back to the tee. That is the end of the course. Thank you for watching. Have a great afternoon. Take care, and Lord bless.